Welcome back to the Mind of George show and to episode 3 on our series on the talent code. And on this episode, we're diving into the most valuable thing that took me the longest time to learn, which is master coaching. Master coaching is the secret behind talent development and the catalyst for unlocking your full potential, i.e., when you're willing to ask for it and use it, it's the thing that helps you not step on the landmines that you pretend are not there. So that's what we're going to be covering in today's episode. And this is episode 3 of our breakdown of the book, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. So if you have not listened to episodes 1 and 2 yet, I would make sure you listen to those after this one. And of course, the rest of the podcast. But without further ado, let's get into the show. Alrighty, and welcome back to the show on the book, The Talent Code. And today we're going to be talking about master coaching. And so you know what we're doing, you know what book we're talking about. We're basically talking about turning you into your own secret weapon or unlocking your superpower with an incredibly amazing book broken down in all the abilities and the ways in which you can do that, how to practice it, how to hone it, how to harness it. And today we're going to be talking about master coaching. Master coaching, also known as mentorship or support provided by an experienced or skilled coach or somebody who has a deep understanding of the craft or the field that you're pursuing. These are the people that possess the knowledge or the insights, the techniques, the experiences to help you develop, and this is the important part, your skills to help you so you can overcome your own obstacles and so that you can reach your own new heights of performance. And those are very, very important topics. They are the mentors or the people who have either walked the path or helped others walk the path before you and can help illuminate the way. They're the lighthouse that guides you through the rocky waters and on the sunny days too, right? So that's what master coaching is. But I think that this is an important part, and I'm going to share what I think a coach is, okay? Master coaches, they not only provide technical expertise, but they offer invaluable feedback, sometimes motivation, and most importantly, accountability. But it's accountability to your commitments to yourself, not accountability to them. They have a keen eye for spotting areas of improvement, nurturing your strengths, and pushing beyond your perceived limits. Through their guidance, they help you navigate challenges, avoid pitfalls, and accelerate your progress. And that's from him in the book, right? And so for me, first thing is, I say this all the time to people because I was really resistant to having a coach for a long time, and then my life got drastically better the moment I asked. But this is how I convinced myself. And so I used to ask people after I figured it out, I was like, okay, can you name me one Olympic gold medalist? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, could you name me a few? They're like, yeah. I'm like, awesome. Can you name me one Olympic gold medalist without a coach? And they're like, no. And I'm like, great. Can you name me one of their coaches with a gold medal? And they're like, no. And then they'll go look, and most of them don't. And I tell them that just because somebody hasn't won a gold medal doesn't mean they can't help people win a gold medal. Um, I had to realize that there are certain things that I'm really good at. And when I'm really good at those things, I can't see anything else. And one of the reasons I struggled for years is because I was surrounded by the most incredible group of teachers and mentors and people at varying walks of life, at varying degrees of success, at varying levels of success. But I wouldn't listen to any of them because it was my way or the highway. And so I say this because to me, a coach is not somebody who's just been where you want to be. They could have mastered this one principle or this one habit or this one workout in this one area that helps you apply. And so I think for me, I look at every single person that I meet as a coach, as a potential coach, like something to learn, something to pick up. But knowing that every coach exists, every person you look for exists to help you navigate a path that they've navigated before or to navigate roadblocks that they have. And the beautiful thing about a coach, like for me, and people say this all the time, like, how do you see it so clearly? Well, I don't live in your pill bottle. Coaches don't live in your pill bottle. We don't live in your perspective or in your own Truman Show. And so we tend to be able to see things, and the outside world can see things a little bit differently. And so being open to these things is one of the most important ways to grow. And for me, why this mattered so much is because I want to be successful. I want to achieve the things I want to do. I want to, when I set a goal, I want to achieve that goal. But I also know that along the path of that goal, I'm going to get tired. Things are going to get hard. I'm going to hit roadblocks, and I don't want to quit. I want to see that commitment through. And surrounding myself with coaches, like I have many, and teachers, remind me and hold me accountable. And then on those days, they remind me of what I committed to. They don't give me anything. They don't, solve a hole. They don't make my sadness go away. They help me sit with it and process it and then remember what I committed to and what's important, and maybe help me see it differently or try a different tool, but ultimately give me a fishing pole to get back in the race. And so for me, how I describe coaching, I was the guy 10 years ago that said, I don't need to read books. I don't need to take classes. I don't need coaches. And then I started reading in 2017, and I've now probably read 400 or 500 books. I've probably hired, I don't know, 100 coaches, and I've probably gotten coaching from 1,000 individuals. And now every single day I am seeking out coaching like you would not believe. Because it took me a long time to realize that when I listened to the coaching, that even if it didn't solve my problem, it solved my perspective, and it allowed me to see it differently and then find the next bite. But I didn't take enough time to realize how effective it was in comparative to how ineffective the other way was. And it took me some time to realize it, and some through painful behaviors and loss. But then when I got it, it became really apparent. And now it's something that I seek out every single day. And so, for me, why? Uh, Number one is you can't see yourself on the field when you're playing the game. And to think that you can is just a guaranteed way to lose. And number two, to think that you're going to win this game alone, you're not. And I know that. Like I am a combined effort. Like I am a byproduct more than anybody of Lindsay. Like Lindsay has spent the last 12 years of our life being my best friend, partner, wife, mother to our children, coach, guide, leader, like literally sharpening me over and over and reflecting me into the world. Like she is just as much, if not more of this than I am. But I'm a byproduct of her and the people that I surround myself with. And that's why it matters, because we're never going to do this alone. And so when you seek out teachers, when you seek out people that are where you want to go, we have to realize they're there for our benefit, but they're going to hold us accountable. But for me, it matters because I want to achieve the things. If I say I want to win a race and somebody knows there's a path for me to get there or to get closer, and I'm not seeing it, I want to take it. I want to try it, even if I only make a little bit of progress. And so, you get things like cheat codes, right? We have companies call us and they've been struggling with email for a year. And in a 20-minute phone call, we fixed it. And that saved their company. That's a cheat code. That's a speed bump removed. That's a roadblock removed, right? When you understand and learn from people that have mastered something, they've seen patterns and behaviors, and they can share those with you so that you not only solve the challenge, but you change it everywhere else in your life. You master skill development, right? There's this incredible vocal coach that I follow, and I loved how he wanted to learn about inflection and vocals and voice. And so he found the best psychologist in his town, and he reached out to her and he said, "Hey, you've been doing this for 25 years. How much would it cost for me to pay you for an entire day of your time to share with me the most important lessons that you've derived through 25 years of doing this and, 10,000 patients or whatever?" And she ended up charging him like $5,600 or something. And when they sat down, he basically got a 25-year manual download of everything to apply into his business, how to coach his students, how to gain more confidence, because he got to hit the fast forward button. And it's no different than when if we go read a book. But if I had the choice of reading the book or having a conversation with the author, I'm going straight to the author. And so you accelerate your skill development. You then boost your confidence and motivation, because when you're around the right coaches, what they constantly remind you of is that they're not giving you anything. They're reminding you of what you already have, or telling you to go pick up a different tool, but they empower you. They don't tell you that you're doing it wrong or that you didn't listen to them or you didn't do it like them. And they don't pretend to have all the answers. They empower you by helping you find them and asking you questions. And then that develops your confidence over time and motivation over time. And then you'll have the opportunity to expand your network, because let's be honest, the number one commodity that exists in our time is relationships. And it's our job to make sure that those buckets are full. And the more you surround yourself with people to learn, the more you end up helping and building relationships with these people. And so I want to get into the how, because this is the most important part for me. So seeking and benefiting from coaching really requires one thing: action. It's not a passive thing. It requires you to be active in pursuing, finding people that are where you want to be, and then you being open to learn and grow, because they're going to deliver a message that might not be how you've done it, but curiosity, which we've talked about in the previous episode, and being willing to try things and experience things are what will change your perspective. And the goal of a coach shouldn't be to change how you do things. It should be to help you see or think about doing things differently before you do them. Okay. And so that's the most important part. So the number one thing, and this goes back to the reflection practice that we talk about and the self-integrity, is you need to identify your needs. So you need to assess your strengths and areas for improvement. Identify your skills or knowledge gaps that you want to address. Clarify your goals and what you hope to achieve through coaching. But here's the thing, you can't run 10 races at a time. And so what you need to sit with is you need to sit with what's the one big roadblock that's causing the most challenges right now. And you get clear on what that thing is and where it's coming from, right? And if you need help with this, Mike Michalowicz is incredible on the entrepreneurial side. You go read the word clockwork to figure out where you should be spending your time, or you read his book, Fix This Next, and he can help you identify where things are broken in your business. Or if you're going on the personal side, you can go the Benjamin Hardy route to be your future self now, or personality isn't permanent. And you can do it that way, which all have assessments built in. The second thing you should do is then research and seek recommendations, right? This means seek things out. Go put yourself in communities, put yourself in their content. Don't think the first person that you find is going to solve your problem. It's typically never the first thing, okay? When you're in combat training, the reason they teach you how to triage is because all too often something can look really, really bad that will distract you from the fact that somebody isn't breathing and you won't be able to save somebody's life. And so don't think that the first shiny object is the solution. Give yourself a pause gap, find some solutions, sit with it, see what feels the best. Assess them, ask people, toe tap in, go to an event, listen to a podcast, pick up something from them and try it, see how it feels for you. And then when you've decided where you want to go, whether it's coming to one of our events, hiring one of my friends, doing whatever, you have to commit to the relationship. No one is going to do this for you. You have to remember that you are the gold medal athlete and you are hiring a coach to get you ready to run the race on your own. Yes, we're going to give you playbooks. Yes, we're going to give you focus. We're going to remind you to work out harder and push a little bit harder, but you have to commit, because what you're committing to is changing, and that doesn't happen by watching a book or reading a book or watching a video or doing one thing. Like, you have to be consistent and committed. And if you're not committed, it's never going to work. And commitment is not based on how you feel. Commitment is, this is how I want to live and who I want to be, irregardless of how I feel. And so you have to commit. And this is why I'm so hard to hire, because I don't ever want you to think that I have your answers. And the moment you do, you guaranteed to win the game. And so when you commit, you have to commit and realize that you're learning at every step of the game. It's not about hiring a coach and getting all the answers. It's about finding the one thing that forever changes you or your business, keeping that behavior, and then going to look for the next thing. And there are plenty of coaches that I've spent $10, $20, $30,000 and picked up one thing that changed my life forever. And there's coaches I paid $1,000 to, and I've learned 100 things that I use forever. And then there's some that I've learned nothing from, but that experience I learned a lot from. And so you have to commit. And then the number 5 one is maximize the relationship. Actively engage in the coaching sessions. Ask clarifications. I want you to be annoying. Not really, but you have to extract it. You have to be active. You have to put yourself on the field. You have to do a workout you've never done before. You have to ask a question you've never asked before. You're going to have to be brave. The more that you're willing to seek it out, the faster you will grow and learn the lessons. And this is what I tell people. You are driving down a road, you're going to get flat tires. And so the faster you can just start vulnerability testing them and changing them, better. Then when you can start to realize that you can reinforce them and they won't get flat anymore, great. But you have to start actively pursuing it every single day. And so communicate your goals, your challenges, and your aspirations, and also tell them what gets in the way. I ask my clients, I'm like, hey, what do you normally say when you're upset? Or what's your behavior when things are getting bad? Or when you're really frustrated and you're going to tell me you want to quit, what's the thing I can say to you that will remind you that you're not allowed to quit? Maximize the relationship, and remember that the person you're hiring, the person you're coming to because they have a path or a stepping stone to get you closer to winning the game, not to win the game for you. And even in done for you coaching, which I do, what we mean by done for you is we design your playbook, your field, your world, and then we teach you how to operate and run it. But if you have anybody offering you done for you under the guise that somebody can do anything for you, you've already lost the game, because that is guaranteed not to work. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take whatever your first step is into seeking out master coaching or mentorship or learning in any area that you have a challenge or have identified a strength or a place where you want to improve. And so, irregardless, you might find it's easier to do one side the other, to move more towards a strength or away from pain. Either way, I want you to give yourself time to assess yourself. Use one of the books I recommended, ask yourself some questions, but you know the answer to this. It's the thing that keeps you up at night. It's the thing that was the pit in your stomach when I said it, and it's not going to go away. The analogy I use is a stinky fish. If you throw the stinky fish under your passenger seat, and let's take it a salmon, at day 1, it doesn't smell that bad. But by day 7, it's really bad. And no matter how long you leave it, it never gets better. It just becomes more and more permanent. And when we have challenges in our life and in our business, when we have these things and we pretend they're not there, they stick themselves in deeper. And so you need to take time to assess these things and really be honest with what's the area that's going to have the achievement. And this doesn't have to be skills. It can be traits, patience. It could be self-love. It could be working out. It could be a skill set. It could be so many different things, but only you know what it is. Only you know what it is. And as you do this, I want you to consider your vision. So if you think into the next 3 to 5 years or 10 years, just ask yourself, like, who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? How do you want to be spending your time? And it might just unlock something you haven't thought about, and give yourself permission to do it. But if you want to win this game, you have to remember that you are the athlete. You are the Michael Phelps. You are the Michael Jordan. You are the Serena and Venus Williams. You are the every single tip top athlete in the world as a human and an entrepreneur, if you're listening to this and you're doing that work. But you have to remember that they are great because they have a very healthy relationship and an integrous relationship with who they are. They own their weaknesses and they seek out coaching to strengthen them, knowing that they're the ones who have to strengthen them. They're the ones who have to do the work. And if you want the success, that's what you're going to have to do. And I want to acknowledge you for doing this. But the faster you seek it out, the faster you will win. So get going, get to work. I appreciate you. I will see you in the next episode. You will either hear me in your earballs, but either way, we're out for today.